Support for Radio Friends comes from Columbia Healthy Smiles, the dental office of husband and wife team Dr. Batson and Dr. Abe, offering comprehensive and customized care to patients of all ages. Learn more by calling 573-721-9039 or online at www.columbiahealthysmiles.com. Good morning. Welcome to Radio Friends on Wednesday, August the 17th. We're going to talk about native plants and more. And my friend Nadia Navarrete-Tindall, our native plant expert, is with us. Good to have you here, Nadia.
Always nice to be here, Paul.
We are blessed in Central Missouri to have so many really beautiful native plants, aren't we?
Yeah, we have more than 2,000 species. And today, I'd like to talk about native vines.
Okay. How many? So you say we have over 2,000 species of native plants
in general.
How many species of native vines do we have?
I wish I had that number with me, but there's several. I would say more than maybe 30. And we're still I'm not sure. Okay. What I'd like to talk about today is about 5 of them that are common. And they are really good not only for wildlife, but they're beautiful.
Yeah.
And they're very resilient. And this time of the year, I mean, we had this terrible weather this year. Mm-hmm. And you're going to hear about the problems with climate change. These plants are survivors. So I would like to start talking about coral honeysuckle.
Okay. What is coral honeysuckle?
Coral honeysuckle is a vine that is produced it's related to the very invasive bush honeysuckle in Japanese honeysuckle, but this one, instead of white or pinkish flowers, it has red flowers. They're tubular, so hummingbirds would start eating. The first thing that they find when they come from the south is these beautiful coral honeysuckles.
Okay, now coral honeysuckle is related to the bush honeysuckle, which you say is an invasive plant.
And this one is a native species.
Okay, the coral, is it a vine or is it a bush?
All these are vines. They climb, and you have to provide some support if you want it to be on top of maybe a structure like a trellis or an arbor. And so there are others like passion flower. And what they have in common, all these vines that I'm talking about, is that they can be very aggressive. So people have to be aware that they are not good for formal gardens, but they do have a place. In maybe like you have plenty of room in your land. So like passion flower is the next that we're talking about. Now I didn't realize
that passion flowers. I didn't realize they were native.
They're native. We have 2 other species that have very small flowers. This one has edible fruits.
And they're kind of a purple flower.
Yeah, purple, and they're similar to the tropical species. And again, the fruit that they produce, this particular species, Passiflora incarnata, has native edible.
Okay.
Edible fruits.
I don't have any passion flowers on my land.
I can share some with you, and I would like to, and then we can move on to the next vine.
Okay, the next one is the pipeline vine, and there's a caterpillar on there. What does the pipeline vine look like?
The pipe vine is another vine. It can be very prolific and under shade. It likes some other shade, so it likes to have some sun during the day. And what is really important about this vine is that it's the host plant for the pipe vine swallowtail.
For the what?
Pipe vine swallowtail butterfly.
Okay.
The caterpillar that you're seeing in the picture is the caterpillar of the swallowtail, the pipe vine swallowtail.
Okay.
Which is a beautiful butterfly. I will bring you pictures of the butterflies next time.
Yeah. Okay, so you want to not kill caterpillars that you see because they turn into beautiful butterflies.
Yeah, and it's why, again, these are vines that are important for wildlife. They can provide habitat and also shelter for birds. And
then the trumpet vine, I again I think everybody knows what a trumpet vine is, but I didn't realize that they were native to Missouri.
They're native to Missouri. They are extremely resilient. This time of the year, I have never seen so many trumpet vines like blooming along the roadsides. It's just amazing. I commute on 63, and they're right next to the cement. And so you wonder, how do they survive? So they have their own survival mechanisms.
Now, let me ask you this. If you dig up a trumpet vine and plant it in your yard or along your house, will it survive transplanting it that way, or will it not?
If it's small enough, and I have done it, but in places where I know they're pretty abundant. But one easy way to do it is to grow them from cuttings. They're very easy to root.
From cuttings?
Yes, cuttings. So this time of the year, you get nothing will survive. And I won't recommend digging anything anywhere. I would recommend to buy them from nurseries, from native plant nurseries. They do have them, and we actually we grow these plants at Lincoln University, and we sell some of these at the farmers market.
Yeah, I would just love to start trumpet vines. Now I've got the next one you're talking about is Virginia creepers.
Yeah,
and I'm totally overrun with Virginia creepers, but I love them.
Yes,
they're beautiful. They grow up on the porch. They grow up on the railings, and then in the fall, Virginia creeper turns into a fire red, yes, bright red leaf before it falls off.
And also they produce some
the berries
that are good for birds in the winter, fall, winter, and they are also host plants for several moths. So they support butterflies and moths, and sometimes you see that the leaves are folded. They kind of like this, the caterpillars actually form like a little tent with the leaves, and there you have your caterpillar. So
there. No, wait. So if you see the Virginia creeper and the leaves are folded, that means there's a caterpillar inside there.
Most of the times, yes.
What is that caterpillar going to turn into?
Well, there are different kinds. There is a sphinx moth that depends on this plant particularly, but there are others that depend on several plants. But being a Virginia creeper so common, I don't have the total name of the plants, the butterflies that are supported, but they do feed several.
Okay, and the little berries that the Virginia creepers make, they will then feed the birds in the wintertime?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
And another thing with vine, if you create a nice trellis or an arbor with these vines, they grow nicely so birds can use them to nest.
Okay.
And we have in our yard a bird nesting in a grapevine that is just so protected, and we couldn't find them until just recently.
All right, Nadia, we're out of time. But if people want more information, you can go to Nadia's Facebook, facebook.com/native plants and more. Always a pleasure chatting with you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Nadia.